Hello everyone, Nick of StreetPass Princeton here to let you guys know about my time at Comic-Con 2014. So, overall, the convention was pretty typical of Comic-Con in terms of cosplay and in terms of comic books, but if you're an avid video game fan like me, it's disappointing. I have to be honest. This year's Comic-Con was probably the worst for video games. Now that being said, this doesn't mean that Comic-Con is a terrible convention. It just means that it's not very good for video games anymore. You might ask why. That's because Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Sega bailed out. They didn't want to be in Comic-Con this year. They decided not to. For whatever reason of speculation, you can say one thing or the other. I'm gonna probably put my bet on budget, probably because of advertising. And if you think about it, it makes sense because Nintendo World hosted their Smash Brothers event, and it makes sense why they didn't go to Comic-Con. Because why would you have a booth at Comic-Con when you can do a thing at Nintendo World and not have to spend money on it? So, again, money problem solved there. And, it's fine, but the thing that's really sad is that if you're a video game fan, that means there's nothing really for people that enjoy video games at Comic-Con. It seems like the West Coast, they have PAX Prime, they have San Diego, they have E3. What do we have? Well, no one came to East, and no one came to Comic-Con, so expect a pretty much drought for the East Coast, sadly. On with the not-so-depressing news, since I did go to... Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Since I did go to the Nintendo World Store, I got this for attending the Smash Brothers event. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah. So at least I could get this. Other than getting this, I got a couple of plushies as well. I got this one, Vaporeon. This is pretty cool. I also got, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a lot of the things that I was showing off. I got Cat Mario, I got Cat Luigi, and I also have Cat Peach. That was great. Let's see here. I also got some stuff that I'll also be raffling off for the Super Smash Brothers event. I got this really cool Hyrule, I don't know if you can see it because of the reflection on the screen. The Hyrule Collector's Puzzle. That's pretty cool. So, and I also got this Eevee. This will not be for the Smash Brothers, but for another event. You can probably guess which one. But anyway, this Eevee will be seen later this year. So, what did I pretty much do at Comic-Con, if you ask? Well, I went the first day on Thursday, and I mainly bought stuff. Actually, believe it or not, I didn't go to Comic-Con in the beginning because the line was ridiculous. Even on Thursday, which is like day 0. All I did was walk to the Nintendo World Store, spent like 30 minutes there, walked back so that way I didn't have to wait in the line. Granted, I'd have to wait in the line for going to any of the booths, so it was pretty hectic. Friday, I have to thank Rinaldi because he lent me his VIP badge, which meant I could go in earlier than everybody else, and I got that advantage of not having to wait in line. So, if I end up going to Comic-Con next year, I'm definitely going to bring a VIP badge. But most likely, that'll be pending whether or not video game companies will be going. But I'm probably going to guess that if this is the trend that most companies are going to take, probably I'm not going to go next year, because there's no reason for me, as a video game fan, to go. The only 2 panels that I went to was Legend of Korra, and I went to the Dorkly panel. Legend of Korra panel was good. I enjoyed that. Dorkly was okay. The problem with Dorkly was that a lot of their skits kind of fell flat for me. I enjoy their humor, and I think they're great, but during the time of the panel, when I was watching some of their skits, humor that just, in my opinion, just went a bit too risque. And it just kind of hit a flat note for me. I enjoy Dorkly. I'm not saying that they're bad, just saying that the skits that I saw wasn't really up to the humor that I enjoy, personally. So, overall, pretty decent experience. They had a cool Nickelodeon booth that I really wanted to go to. I didn't end up making myself the time for that. I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood to wait in lines. I guess because I really just wanted to play some games, and there was nothing to play at this Comic-Con, and it really kind of annoyed me. But on the bright side, Monster Hunter was there. Capcom was there, Namco was there, and there was Ubisoft. Although, 3 game companies, not so much in terms of, like, variety. It was okay, but again, not very much. Would have liked to see more. Maybe next year things will be different. I'm probably going to guess it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same. They're probably not going to come back. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my ending vlog video. And I'm sorry if I upset anyone by saying that I didn't enjoy Comic-Con, but to be honest, I really didn't. I do like comic books, but personally, I'm more of a video game person, and I was really hoping for more video games. And yeah, I understand that Comic-Con is a comic book convention, but that being said, San Diego Comic-Con is also a comic book convention, and they also have video games, so go figure. But maybe the thing that needs to happen is that New York City needs to get its own video game convention. We need to have a convention for video games in New York City that doesn't have to necessarily be Comic-Con. Maybe that's the point I'm getting at. We need to have a convention for video games and not just comic books. I don't mind to have video games at Comic-Con, but I would like to see a video game-centered event at New York City. And even if Nintendo wasn't at Comic-Con, personally, I probably could have forgiven it if it was like PAX East. But it wasn't, so a lot harder for me to really get past. So I'm just praying in the future that New York City will have a video game convention. But until then, Comic-Con, I really, I'm sorry, after these 4 years, I really don't know if I'm going to be going back next year, so I might drop off New York City and try to get to San Diego, so we'll see. San Diego's not easy, but at this point, traveling to the West Coast, while not easy, is definitely more what I would want for video games than being on the East Coast, which is, it's sad. I could spend the next hour ranting on about how the East Coast really has a lack of video game conventions in terms of, like, main support. And, yeah, I know people would be like, well, you have Nintendo World Store. Yeah, that's great, but who doesn't want to go to a convention that's featuring games that are coming out? E3 is great, but it's not always open to the public. And yeah, I know I get to go because I have the connections to do so, but, I want to go enjoy more conventions than just E3. I want to be able to meet people, and then rather than just industry people. That's cool, but I want to be able to experience variety of conventions, but yet still enjoy video games. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video for my wrap-up vlog. Just so you know, events are as follows. We have the Smash Brothers event coming up this weekend. That should be lots of fun. We have our Sonic Boom event right there. If you can see, it's going to be at the mall. And then up top, we have our Pokemon event, and I'll be raffling off this awesome Ash Ketchum hat. So if you're there, you might be able to win this. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching my vlog for Comic-Con 2014, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!